Now, it is no secret that processed food is bad for you, whether you're going for McDonald's 3-4 times a week or even just a simple processed sandwich. But what if I was to tell you that processed food in large quantities is literally infiltrating your muscle because of the fat? That is exactly what we're going to be talking about within the next few minutes. So let's get right into it. Now, when you consume lots of ultra processed food, even if you're working out, even if you're consistently losing weight, what happens is that the fat that you build up and all the unhealthy particles in that food that you're eating goes inside of your muscles. There was this study that was done recently where they used MRI scans to demonstrate that high UPF intake correlates with significant fat accumulation. So keep in mind, if you are bulking and you're going to McDonald's maybe once a month, or you're just eating like a Tesco meal deal, anything that has extra added ingredients, it has the potential to go inside of your muscles, and it gives you this sort of flabby, weird toned, layered sort of this rocky looking muscle that doesn't really look attractive. And due to this, you can get decreased muscle density, which means that the healthy tissue in your muscle gets replaced by fats. Now, on the topic of fat going inside of your muscle, another thing that eating lots of processed food does is that it lowers your overall muscle mass. Pre-packaged meals, such as a McDonald's Happy Meal, or even just a sandwich from your local shop in plastic packaging, contains added ingredients. Now, when you eat these foods and you're bulking, or you're going to the gym consistently, you're working out, you're doing any kind of exercise, what happens is you are preventing hypertrophy. Now, the added chemicals, the added stuff gives you a lower quality protein, and that lower quality protein goes to build and fix your muscles when you tear them when you're working out. When that happens, you end up getting these weird, weaker, less dense muscles that are not actually as good as fully healthy whole meal food muscles. This is because the particles, the chemicals in that food give you structurally less effective protein. There was a study that was done that shows that there was this study done that showed that there was a 60% increased risk of having lower muscle mass on these processed food diets compared to a healthy food diet. So next time you go to a shop and you go order this food or you eat something unhealthy, just think about that first. That food that you're about to eat could literally give you weaker muscle. It could give you less structurally effective muscle. Now, on the topic of consistently eating processed food does to you is that it delays recovery, and that is actually the most crucial part of working out. In these processed foods, there are things such as additives, emulsifiers, and refined sugars, and these create an internal environment in your body that works against tissue repair, and that is because of these low quality proteins. And think about it like this: these low quality proteins literally have chemicals, stuff that they use in factories to make plastic, bombs, any of these weird, crazy things that the world has these days is going inside of your body. You're literally putting it inside of you to get bigger, but because you are eating such terrible foods, you're just gonna have less high quality muscle, which is severely impacting your recovery and your performance. Now, you might be asking, how do these chemicals actually impact how my body performs protein synthesis? Now, there are two ways in which this is done. Number one, inflammation. Diets high in processed foods disrupt the microbiome in your gut, and the effects of this is that it creates chronic low-grade inflammation. And chronic, if you don't know, it's just constant, so you always have an inflamed gut. This constant inflammation over time prevents your body from correctly repairing microscopic tears in your muscle, which leads to weaker muscle. Another way in which these chemicals impact your muscle is through micronutrient depletion. This is because the food that you're eating lacks vitamins, it lacks minerals and antioxidants needed to reduce post-exercise muscle soreness to help your body efficiently recover. And if you think this was all crazy, wait till you hear about this last part. By now, we've already covered 3 major ways in which processed food impacts you, impacts your muscle growth, impacts your gym journey as a whole. But this last part is perhaps the worst of them all, and that is performance. That's right, processed food disrupts your performance in the gym. There was a study that was done in which participants that ate lots of processed food had a dramatic decrease in workout quality. This is because high glycemic processed carbs cause high blood sugar spikes, followed by dry crashes causing fatigue. And so this basically means that if you're eating something carb heavy, but it's actually processed before a workout, you have this sudden blood sugar spike, and then all of a sudden it just drops. So when you work out, you have no energy, you just work out way more poorly, and you're way weaker than you would normally be. Another way in which processed foods disrupt your performance is that it reduces metabolic flexibility. What this means in simple terms is that it limits your muscles to be able to crucially switch between burning carbs and burning fat. So when you work out, instead of burning fat, instead of losing weight, you just lose the energy that you were trying to build up 30 minutes ago, an hour ago, and you don't lose any fat, or you lose very little fat, and that just causes you to have a less high quality workout, and overall you just don't make half as much progress as you should be making. Thank you for watching. If you found the video entertaining and useful, please make sure to subscribe and leave a comment. See you next time.